What's up, people? Anyways, I want to tell you my experience with nordVPN customer service. All right. It started out that, okay, I have nordVPN for starters. I know I don't like to tell people what I use or anything like that because then it gives them a heads up. Anyways, um, one morning I was it told me that my VPN had disconnected from always being on because that's how I have it. I have it set to always being on. And anyways, I go on there. It says that it's on. So you know how you could put the app back and it's still supposed to run. Well, when I put the app back, it stopped running. And so I couldn't figure this out. So I talked to the chat bot, and the chat bot ran me through a series of different things to do. And because I have two phones, I have one that was having the problem, and then I have the other one, my burner phone, that I'm currently on now. And that one I used to communicate with the chat bot because it'd be too hard for me to look at it, switch back and forth, because on the other phone it doesn't have the square, circle, triangle buttons where you can just press a button and go backwards. You have to go up a certain amount, and anyways, it's a hassle to do anything on that phone. But anyways, the chatbot, the NordVPN chatbot, had me go through a series of different things to try and fix this. One of the things that it had me do, it wanted me to disable my my antivirus mechanism, and it's a good, solid antivirus mechanism. So as soon as I do that, the my phone, it goes blank, it goes dark. And I'm wondering what the heck is going on, right? So after a little bit, I press on the power button and the screen comes up saying that the files are all corrupted. And I'm like, what? This isn't right. How is this possible? Is it because, I lowered my defenses, and now, am I in the wrong website where, I just got hacked? I don't know. So I tell the AI chatbot what happened. I tell it that my phone is dead and corrupted. So it gives me a live human, and the live human, this guy, and if I can figure out how to attach the screenshot I took of one of the conversations, I'm going to attach it at the end. Anyways, this guy wanted me to go through a series of fixes, but my phone is dead and corrupted, right? So I'm arguing with this guy. Meanwhile, I'm trying to figure out how to bring my phone back to life, and finally I find a menu that lets me do a factory reset. So I do a factory reset. It resets. I'm on the burner phone with this guy, and anyways, he's wanting to know what happened, and I'm telling him, that's a whole lot to rewrite that transpired between me and the AI chatbot. You should have it all logged in. All the information should be right there in front of you. Why don't you check it out, and then get back to me and tell me what you learned. And the guy just refused. He just refused to read. He made every excuse not to read. He refused, any kind of sort of help. I asked for a manager. He didn't want to give me a manager. The guy didn't want to do nothing except for collect a paycheck. That's all he wanted to do is collect a paycheck. He wanted me to retype everything that happened between me and the NordVPN AI chatbot, right? And then, he's not even gone, not even for a minute. And then he starts copy and pasting different parts of the conversation that me and the chatbot had. And he's all, look, I have read it. I'm like, no, you haven't even been gone long enough to read that, to read any of it. What you're doing is you're copy and pasting, just bits and parts of the conversation so that you don't have to read it. So it appears that you're reading. I'm telling him, you haven't been gone that long to read the entire, manuscript as to what happened between me and him. And me, I've been reading books my whole life. And, I can calibrate when somebody, full on read something and didn't read something, because if it takes me just a little bit longer, I know that they're being fishy. And I know that this guy, he just didn't want to read. So anyways, what I ended up doing is I just set my burner phone to the side, and me and my girlfriend, we had to go run errands because this guy was taking too long. So when I came back, I picked up the burner phone. Let me back up a little bit, because at one time he was telling me that I was being abusive. Okay, not one time did I cuss at him. Not one time did I say anything rude to him. But he was saying that he was going to terminate the conversation between me and him because I was being abusive, and that he had every right to do so. And I told him, where did I cuss? Where was I being abusive? I told him that you, by you saying that, is just another excuse for you to not read. It's just another excuse for you not to do your job. And anyways, at this point is when I put my burner phone down, and I went and I ran errands with my girlfriend. When I came back, he had put in, you've been gone for a while, discontinuing the conversation. And it gives you a section where you can rate customer service. I put like 1 star, and then I explained everything. And then NordVPN through email contacts me, tells me, okay, we're here to help. We're sorry about, what happened. There's an internal investigation. Then the guy wanted me to go through the same steps that the bot wanted me to go through. And I explained to him, I said, I cannot restart my phone, because if I restart my phone, what's going to happen is going to get stuck in the corrupt files menu, because, I know this because after I restarted my phone from factory reset, I restarted my phone again, and of course it went back into the corrupt files, right? So I get another dude wanting me, to go through the same steps, and I'm like, are you guys not reading any of this? Any of what happened? Each and every one of you guys is, 1, not reading what happened. 2, you're not being informed. 3, you're not aware of the situation. And 5, how can you possibly help anybody with anything if you're not, willfully acquiring the knowledge as to what took place in the case file? Because obviously that has to be documented somewhere as to the steps that, that they're all taking, but they're all wanting to take the same exact steps. So to make a long story short, basically I told him, look, you guys blow chunks, man. This isn't going to work. I cannot restart my phone, because with everything they wanted me to do, they wanted me to restart my phone. So ultimately, they gave me 3 months free. They added 3 months on top of my subscription. And, they said sorry. But you know what? I appreciate the 3 months, but those 3 months does not equate the cost of my phone. I was following what the AI NordVPN chatbot told me to do. And I feel that if I would have kept my antivirus mechanism on, I would have been okay. But something happened. Okay, NordVPN tried to tell me, oh no, it's not our fault. Of course they're going to say it's not their fault. You know, but bottom line is my phone is jacked. Okay. And 3 months does not cover the cost of my phone. I gotta get a new phone. You know, my phone barely works. I gotta mess with it all kinds of ways, you know, just to get, you know, certain things running. It's a pain. So, you know, as far as customer service goes, my experience with NordVPN customer service, the worst customer service I have ever had. Lazy people who would not read, who would not take the time to get familiar with the situation, to acquire the knowledge that they needed to solve the problem. You know, if they would have seen, you know, the actions that we had took already, maybe they would have come up with better and different solutions, or tried things that we haven't tried already. But none of them wanted to read. None of them wanted to help. None of them wanted to go and just look at the case file. What happened? What did we already do? What can we learn from this? Where can we go from here? None of them. But they gave me 3 months. But, you know, because I am so disappointed in their customer service, I'm already looking at different VPNs. And no, I'm not going to Surfshark, because Surfshark is owned basically by NordVPN, and I'm trying to get away from NordVPN. You know, I'm looking at everybody from Proton VPN to Hide Me VPN to Molvad VPN, which is good. I like Molvad. I like how they do things. They're genuinely all about anonymity, all about your privacy. You know, the only problem I have with Molvad is you can only cover 5 devices. And I got friends and family who, you know, well, family anyways. I got family who I hook up, you know, who live right here. But yeah, NordVPN, I got to get away from that. I'm not happy. So anyways, with that said, check out the description, the video description. I have my my Cash App and my Venmo in there. So if you guys want to buy me some DoorDash and help me pay for subscriptions around the house, that would be great, man. I'd really appreciate that, you know, because that's where the money would go to. You know, I'm not a druggie anymore. All right, guys. Peace. I love each and every one of you guys. You guys are the greatest. I plan on doing more reviews and sharing more information as I acquire stuff and move on in life and all that good stuff. All right, guys. Peace. I'm out.